Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Twibble Tube. I'm your host, Landon Simpson, joined by Camden Allison. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing quite great. Ready to talk about some more wiffle ball as the season goes on, or the off season. Sorry, the off season goes on. We got a guest today, Joshua Bischop. He'll be talking about his excitement going into his rookie season. We have a couple of questions for him and everything. Speaking of him, hi Joshua, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing great. So we're gonna go ahead and get into questions just right away. But actually, no, let's go ahead and just go into what we're doing throughout this podcast. We're gonna go over the top 18 through Connor and Skylar's list. We're also gonna go through our own. Me and Cam made our own list. You can also see my list as well on Skylar's podcast. But we're going to be going more in depth on their picks, whether we agree, disagree, stuff like that. But let's go into the interview with Joshua Bischops. So, just first question being, what made you want to join Twibble?
Yeah, so I started basically my total journey whenever we were in that backyard league that you mentioned in the previous podcast. So about like 5 or 6 years ago. And ever since then, I've kind of grown like fond with the idea of playing just in a preface wiffle league. And again, there was none of those really around our area, so it's kind of just our backyard league we were playing in. But no, kind of the reason why I'm going into it is the structure of it. Like I feel like I'm really joining a competitive league where I can actually have like-minded people to compete against. You can't really do that if you go out to just only tournaments because it's only just once or twice every year you can do that. Whereas here, I'm actively competing in something that I can actually develop myself in and keep track of. And it's a fun part to be. It's fun to be a part of TWBL.
Great answer. We're just gonna go straight into the next question. I mean, you kind of answered it. Yeah, just how long have you been playing Wiffle? Your journey and how it, I guess, started.
Yeah, so for my non-developing kind of era, I'll say I was kind of just playing for fun in that backyard league. So for 5 years, technically, is how long I've been playing with it. But I've really only been playing this about almost a year, if not a year, professionally.
Competitive wiffle ball. Cam's first
Yeah.
competitive was Twibble. So I guess going into I guess having professional experience before TWBL is huge for you because you've competed in multiple tournaments, including spanning from MLW and BLW, also in the Cedar Park slow pitch tournament, which is fairly similar to how Twibble plays, but skinny bat. But moving on will be what's your expectations for your rookie season?
Yeah, so for my expectations, the only real expectations that I have is just to really have a great season, and kind of show everyone who I am and kind of what I represent for the Cookie Monsters. I'm not looking out there to go just make a huge bang right off the bat. Like it's probably not realistic since this will be my very first time in Twibble. But I'm at least hoping to get my name out there and kind of put my talks in one of the top player contentions for at least like the top 25. But I'm really just out there to have fun, compete for the Cookie Monsters, and kind of just win us a title.
Okay, so your expectations out the gate is a title. Okay,
Yeah, I feel like we have a really great crew, especially with the teammates that we have currently right now, and just a few of the rookies ourselves. I feel like we could definitely try to rival some of the teams in this tournament, yeah, or in this league.
okay. Cam, you got anything?
So you mentioned there was a couple rookies on your team. Actually, I believe most of the rookies are on your team. But has there been some internal talk at all, just like some, competition within y'all's team about like rookie of the year? Because like y'all got most of the rookies, like y'all gonna be on top of the race. So has that been a discussion yet between teammates?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I think I'm kind of viewing it as like, oh, Cookie Monster's gonna be rookie of the year anyways, because like we're the only ones that have the rookies.
I
But
will.
yeah, there's been some talks. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I will add on that there's gonna be a whole rookie team. We got to add on to that. I don't know if you've seen that, Cam, But there's with the oh my goodness, with an easy going away, Gage has a whole team of just rookies. So that's also a bit of addition to that rookie of the year race.
Yeah, I did not know that. I've not been too tapped into wiffle ball. My apologies, guys.
But yeah, so I think it's a group of five guys, and they all haven't played wiffle. I from what I heard ever, but I mean everybody's kind of played recreational, like just outside backyard, just throwing. But I think they're in a baseball team, and Gage asked them if they wanted to play. So I think that's going to be a whole other team to replace with an easy, which is a bunch of rookies to compete.
Baseball players are tricky, man, because you there's really two sides of that. It's like they
Yeah.
either got a good swing or it's they've never played. Like wiffle balls just don't move the same. Like
Mm-mm.
it's a different sport at the end of the day. Like having a good swing helps, but how much does it help? But that's a question for another day.
Yeah, I mean, because going in, I mean, I played baseball. Josh played baseball. Going into wiffle, it's just a completely different world. Because obviously, throwing angles are different, and the ball moves different, and it's just a completely different game. But I mean, I'll add on to that conversation about the rookie of the year talks, that the really main two that have been talking about rookie of the year have been Logan Wurzbach and Joshua Bischops, and I think those two. I could be completely biased. I think those two are going to be one and two. I mean, I haven't seen these other rookies, but I think the whole race is going to be between those two. I mean, Logan had a really solid MLW stint where I think he was our second or third best hitter. Joshua Bishops had a really great Cedar Park stint, and BLW was pretty nice too. I think Cedar Park, which I compare more to Twibble than the other tournaments that we've been to, because it was medium pitch, and the only difference really was the bat. So Josh had two homers there. So I mean, I think we've got a pretty good race going. But going back to the questions, um, what do you think your biggest strength is going into the 2026 season, Josh?
Yeah, so what I honestly think my greatest strength is honestly my fielding capabilities. Like hitting for me, I know is a plus just from the base kind of sample size I have with hitting against Wiffle. But it's just I've been able to make plays in almost every format of Wiffle, if that's fast pitch or slow pitch. And I just know that I can trust myself if you put me on defense, which I think is my greatest asset. And again, it's just I feel like the defense is the best part. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, defense is huge in Wiffle, especially our league, where it's not just fielding the ball; it's also throwing the ball, which is also the biggest. I would say mountain to climb. I don't know what you would say, Cam, but I think fielding the ball personally is a lot easier than figuring out how to field it and throw it into that big net. That feels so easy.
Yeah, as a guy who's been nominated for two Bronze Glove awards, fielding's hard, man. Like it's so valuable. Probably like I've lost probably 3 or 4 games just because of the fact
Oh
I
my
can't field.
goodness.
So having someone who can constantly make plays is like that is it's so key.
It's so funny hearing that, because I always hear around. I'm I always hear that. I'm assuming now it's sarcasm, because I always hear how good your fielding is, Cam.
No, it's awful. It's so bad. Like
That's
I'll hustle to every ball. Like
uh-huh.
not a lot of doubles will be hit, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of outs will not be made.
I remember when we were getting clips for the hype video that's coming out. And you sent your. I don't even remember what the video was, but I just remember you falling over and just missing the ball. I don't know if you actually fell over, but that's what I remember.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that game. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So more on Josh, bro. Like, you know, what do you think? I mean, what do you want to accomplish in year one? You know, it's like you have your expectations, but what is you're putting your foot down on the league. Like this is your first time playing in Twibble. What you know, what do you want to be in Twibble? Is my question.
Yeah, so like I said, the main goal definitely is just to get my brand out there, obviously. But I think for like what I want to accomplish is really just become a two-way player that people can just talk about in almost every podcast. Like you have the like for me, like I don't know many people in the league, but obviously the people like Gage West, Connor, even Landon's from my team. Like there's a bunch of talks coming in about like how good they are and like what they've accomplished stuff. Part of me just wants to be in those talks like right off the gate. Like that could just be my ego talking, but like it would feel like it would be pretty nice to try and just go out there and just display my skill set.
Going for the billboards year one. That's definitely a goal. That's great. I love
Yeah.
it. Um, so going into let's do. What do you feel like as a rookie? I guess what do you feel like you need to prove? Do you feel like there's an added weight to prove that you're better than what people see, or do you think it's just casual? You're going out to play wiffle just to see what happens.
Yeah, no. So I think for me, like I think it's a little bit of both. If I'm being really honest, like I was for being a rookie coming into a brand new league that I haven't really played in. It's a lot of pressure. I think for me, it's because I'm talking myself into like, okay, I'm doing okay in hitting and pitching, but I have no real idea what it's like going into like the TWBL format. For all I know, I could just go have like a 0.000 average and just watch strikes come by me every day. But I think for me, it's really just being able to uh, kind of just have fun and relax, but also have that competitive mindset. That's kind of just what my whole goal or what I think I want to prove is just display and have fun.
I mean, I think this is like the weirdest thing to hear is a 0-0 strikeout. Especially, I'm still getting
Yeah,
used to
right.
that. An 0-0 strikeout. I do think that's for I don't know if you can back me up here, Cam, but I do think that's one of the most difficult adjustments to Twibble is the strikeout looking because sometimes you just have that take mentality, especially on a 3-0 count, that you just go into that count just thinking, oh, I'm just gonna take it, but in all reality, you got to be ready to swing on it every pitch.
Yeah, no, it's a staple. The 3-0 protect swing. Like, yeah, it's I don't know. We'll say this. I love it. I think it's the best thing for the league is to do. I love caught looking. Like it's one of my favorite rules, but it's definitely not hitter friendly. I will say that.
Mm,
Like obviously it's not hitter friendly,
no.
but yeah, no, it is hard to just like think about like, oh, I'm up 3-0, like I'm gonna take my pitch here unless it's down the middle. Nah, if that thing
Mm,
looks like it's gonna hit pipe, you are
yeah.
swinging.
It's a protect swing even on a 3-0 count. And
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I had something. It was just I remember my first at bat. I because you just have it growing in your mind, especially as a rookie. I feel like nowadays it's more I guess it's getting to the point to where it's natural. Like I'm able to recognize that I need to swing at some pitches. Some pitches are a lot further. But if it's even close, you have to go for it. But I remember my first strikeout looking, I think was my second or third AB, and it was a riser on that outside pipe, especially on the outside corner. And I think those suck. I hate risers on the outside because you just think it's gonna be a ball and it's not. It's ridiculous. Do you remember? Or I guess I mean you've been around for a while, but do you remember any memorable caught lookings, Cam?
Like no, I feel like most caught lookings I have, I just kind of like
Just trying to
hit my
forget it.
cap. Like I don't remember any of them
Mm-hmm.
specifically. I'm a big like on to the next at bat guy. Like I
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
if it's something disgusting you get caught looking on, you just got to tip your cap and
Mm-hmm.
get ready to swing the
Yeah.
next at bat. But no, I don't really memorize my strikeouts.
Fair enough. I try
I don't
not
like to think about them too much.
to. Okay, going on to the next question. Just how confident are you heading into this first season?
Yeah, so if I had to relate, like on a scale of 1 to 10, if I had to pick confidence, I'd say I'm at like a 7 as of right now. Like I'm obviously not just go on like, oh, I think I'm just gonna be awesome, right? Like I feel like for me, I'm in a confident state that I can do fairly well, but I'm not too confident that I'll just get it right off the bat. Like I feel like I'll have some hiccups in there, like obviously. So I would say I'm fairly confident, but I'm still humble to the fact that I need something to improve on.
Like with that confidence, do you believe like, kind of after this season ends, do you think you will be, in a top 18 conversation?
For me, it really depends. I think just my bat alone, I think I'm top 20. Just the bat. But I think the main, if I had to pick something that I think would deter me from being top 80, I think it'd be the pitching. Obviously, I have really good pitches, and I know a few pitches that'll just move really good. It's just I've had troubles just having consistency with it. That seems to be like the main theme of my pitching and practices. If I feel like I can develop my pitching enough to where I'm more consistent and being able to get outs and kind of help the team with those pitching roles, I think I would be able to secure a top 18 spot. Yeah.
I mean, I will say the top 18 is pretty competitive. I would say we're gonna talk about the list later, obviously, but I will say there are some people in those honorable mention spots and the I guess 16 to 18 range that I think either shouldn't be there or should be higher, should be lower. But I do think it just takes consistency. I think that's a big thing with top 18 especially, but also just having big flashy numbers like average and home runs and all. I mean with pitching especially, I feel like what makes a person top 18 is your ability to be a two-way player. I feel like a lot of the especially when I was making my list, it was more I was looking from up to down, whatever. I was like, what could what could add value to someone? Okay, a two-way pitcher or a two-way player where they can pitch well and hit well, which you can see out of people like Ian O'Hare, where he can hit for an insane average, home runs, all that stuff, but also can just absolutely pitch his arm off, and it's great. I love I love how Ian O'Hare plays, and I'm excited for his name to get called in that higher spots. Okay, let's see. We'll go into oh, okay. We'll go into who are you most excited to face this season?
I think just the turtle team as a whole, I'm really excited to pitch against. And it's not really the fact that I think I'm better than them. I think it's more the fact that they're just a really competitive team that I've seen, and I know they can produce results, and they're fun to play against because I've had my fair share. I think we've matched up against them like 3 or 4 times in the different formats that we face in fast pitch. And just every time, I just love just like I'll take Gage West for an example. Every time I see that man up at the plate, I feel like I'm just always tense whenever I'm against him because I'm like already ready, trying to field the ball. And it's
Saw
kind of the
that.
same way with Connor as well, and even Ian as well. It's just every time I see them, it looks like all their pitching highlights are just off of me, and it's really fun being able to battle against that. So I think that kind of rivalry, if we do develop that, or just even be able to compete against that, is just it's what I'm really looking forward to.
Um, I mean, we saw that the tenseness in that home run you gave up against Gage at MLW, which we're not gonna go into that, but yeah, I mean Gage is one heck of a hitter. Uh,
Yeah.
Cam, do you have anything?
Yeah, well, Gage is the best hitter, and I don't think it's very close. So, giving up a home run or two to Gage, like, everyone's been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, I mean, that guy might be like, I don't know how he does. Actually, I do know he does it. He practices 5 days a week. But I respect it. You got to do what you got to do. But yeah, no, I mean, that dude's the best hitter I've ever seen. Like, his eye is insane. He knows how every pitch is get. Sorry, I'm glazing Gage, bro. He doesn't need that. He's an all right player. It's
He's
just
all right.
coach shouldn't be letting homers to him.
I just think it's crazy how he hasn't, or from what I know, he hasn't like tried to pursue anything outside of Twibble, like BLW or MLW or anything. I'm kind of, I mean, I'm sure he's focused on building his own thing with Twibble, which is great, and I think that's gonna build into something. But I'm surprised he hasn't at least tried. Like I know Jackson Richardson and Connor Rederath, like those guys are playing with. I know they both played in the competitive BLW as well as Cade. Cade as well played in BLW competitive. So I mean, I think there was a couple other Twibble guys that showed up in BLW, but out of all of them, I kind of expected Gage to kind of show face and try and compete with those guys. Do you know
He
anything?
definitely could.
Yeah.
He definitely could.
Do you think he just doesn't want to? Or do you think?
I don't know. I've never talked to him about it. Like, but I think
Yeah.
if he wanted to, he would. That
Yeah.
dude's a busy guy, so like maybe that's
fair.
just why.
He could. I mean, building this Twibble thing also is like basically a full-time job at this point. It seems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like he's a commissioner or anything.
Yeah, we kind of need. Yes.
Yeah, we kind of can't have him go up to Arizona for the BLW World Series. We need him for Twibble, don't we?
A little bit.
What does a successful rookie season look like for you, Josh?
Yeah, so what success kind of looks for me is kind of just, I guess, getting a grasp of how to hit a ball, especially in this format. I think it's always a special thing being able to come into a season like just a fresh new start in any sport, really, and just being able to gauge kind of like where you are as a hitter or even as a just player in general and anything, and being able to see yourself improve whenever you get up to plate every single time. Um, I feel like that's kind of the success I want to see is just have me being able to prove myself, but also being able to improve and kind of see that progress through the season. That's kind of what success looks for me within this league.
Okay. Got anything, Cam?
No, Josh, you have any closing statements?
Closing statements, Cookie Monsters forever. And Connor, I'm hitting a home run first pitch off you, buddy.
First pitch, he's calling.
You
his
heard it
shot
here
now.
first, Connor Rederath. You heard it here first.
That's gonna be clipped and put on Slack as soon as this is put out. And then it's
Already on Slack. I already put it on.
Later in May, it's gonna be a clip of him like striking out, looking first pitch against Connor. Okay, thanks for joining us, Josh. Always a pleasure, and can't wait for the season, especially playing with you. And I'm excited to see what your first Twibble season grows into.
Yeah, thanks you guys for having me. I've enjoyed myself. Yeah.
Okay, going into the top 18 segment. So we're gonna go over Skylar's list, Connor's list, as well as me and Cam's list. And this isn't the full list. This will be a kind of a extended thing from top 18 to all the way to 1. For today, it's 3 honorable mentions and 16 through 18. And I think from the other few, it's just 3 going down. So it would be 16. It'd be 15 to 13, and just so on so forth. Which we'll talk and go in depth on Skylar's list and Connor's list, as well as touch a little bit on ours. But yeah, Cam, you can take it away for Skylar's list.
Yeah. So for Skylar's list, his honorable mentions are Taylor Ragland, Austin Martin, and Nolan Chazik. And so I guess we'll start with Taylor. Taylor's been a phenomenal hitter. He's top 10 in batting average with a 487. He's put up good hitting stats this year. I believe his downside is who's your dad? He just doesn't have pitchers. I think if he didn't pitch, you could argue top 15 easily. But I think the fact that he does have to pitch and he's just barely under a 7 ERA, I think putting him at an honorable mention is perfectly fine. Kind of going into Austin.
Here, one second.
So Austin,
I want to kind of add on Taylor real quick. I mean, I think 10th in average is kind of crazy. I think tied for 15th in RBIs is kind of crazy. I do think right now if the circumstances aligned, if Taylor was on, I don't know, Turtles, if he was on any other team, I feel like he would be easily at least, at minimum, a 16, maybe like a I don't know, 14, 12, because the hitting stats are just insane. I mean, a 487 average, like you said, with it was, 37 hits. He's at least top 20 in every stat, top 15 in 3 of the major hitting stats. It's just pitching that kind of drags him down. But while the ERA is kind of gross, I won't lie. The 694. I mean, just take a look at his strikeouts. I mean, that probably does go with workload and probably him pitching a ton. But 85 strikeouts is third in Twibble. I mean, so his I don't think he might not be that bad of a hitter, or not hitter, pitcher. It's just the fact that he's getting a crap ton of innings. I just think they're just pitching him too much, and that's what's hurting him.
I mean, a lot changes from throwing 3 games a week versus throwing 1.5, 2, right?
Yeah, I mean, going to his
I just think
innings. Yeah. Sorry, going into his innings, 62 innings pitched, 20 games pitched. So, I mean, just talk about workhorse. I mean, so like whenever you sit there and look at the ERA, yes, it's kind of high, but you also got to think he's facing all his opponents like every day. So like, of course, that ERA is going to show. So he could be a all right pitch, maybe a mid-tier pitcher, but just the innings are hurting him, and they really need a second pitcher behind Taylor Ragland over at WYD.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Kind of just rolling into his second honorable mention, we have Austin Martin. I want to start by saying this. I hate bringing up injury. With Will Rain's injury, I expect Austin to make a drastic, I don't want to say improvement because he's good, but jump in both hitting and pitching. Definitely was a very solid hitter this year, being top 20 in batting average, hits, and home runs. But I think we see his pitching. We faced him a couple times. He was on his eye. Like, I couldn't hit him, but I just can't hit the blue ballers. Like, that's a little known fact. Can't do it. I don't know why.
It's just the name. The name just makes you an automatic Cy Young candidate.
I'm saying. But, yeah, I think we see big jumps from Austin this year. I know he's an honorable mention on this list. I think we see a big jump in Austin this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him 12 next year. That might be a hot take, maybe it's not, but I see a big jump from Austin Martin going into next year.
I fully agree. I think the numbers don't lie. I mean, I think out of the blue ballers offense, especially, where they've kind of notoriously not had a great offense, he's definitely one of the scarier hitters in that blue ballers lineup. And the pitching, while he didn't qualify, he had 7 games, 18.1 innings, which I'm looking at his game history just through the last just through all his games played. He's just going up against, from what it seems, mainly good offenses. Like, he's got the Crooked Rooks, he's got Cosby, Flying Turtles, Rooks again, and then Who's Your Daddy, Ballbusters. But then his first game of the year was against Flying Turtles, which it doesn't. Flying Turtles 10 runs, but after that first game, he didn't give up more than 5, which, that came against Who's Your Daddy, which, the rest against those good offenses, especially, 3 runs against Rooks. So it definitely not a bad hitter, definitely needs more volume and maybe some more work on just whatever he's got. But the offense, I think, will improve this year. I think with Will Raines being out, unfortunately, until later in the year, if not the full season, he's definitely going to have to add a lot more innings into it. They've got Jack Hoving, but Jack Hoving can't pitch every game. They've got I don't know. Henry Thomason probably could pitch as well. So I mean, he could be a solid 3, or maybe I mean he could even move up to 2 if he really wanted, if he really wants to do that. But overall, I do agree. I think he could end up being top 12, maybe 15 by next year.
Yeah, just super briefly, and then we'll move on to the next guy. But do we see, maybe the idea of a closer over in the? I mean, that's up to Jack, but the idea of a closer could work too.
Yeah.
Jack pitched 3 innings, Austin closed it out. Have Henry close or pitch 2 innings, go Jack 1. I don't think we see enough bullpen use in Twibble, man. Like
Not really.
I think we're missing that.
I mean, the Cookie Monsters have been trying to kind of implement something, but I feel like it's just really hard to do that with, like, I guess the innings with, I mean, not having a lot of innings to play. So it's kind of like if someone's rolling, they're rolling, and then if you put someone else in, it's kind of just like, oh, you gave up 8 runs in the first inning. Okay, you go in and do it. So I guess that's kind of why. But I do like the idea of a closer maybe being in Henry Thomason or Austin Martin, where both those guys, while Henry Thomason, obviously the ERA is more in his favor. I think he has like a 237 or something last year, but obviously did not qualify with Will Raines and Jack Hoving taking up majority of those innings. But I mean, I don't hate that idea of a closer being an Austin Martin, or I mean, it could alternate as well in terms of situation. But I mean, I don't hate that. I like that idea actually.
Well, I don't want to give him too many ideas, so I'll keep it rolling. So his third one was Nolan Chazek. Obviously, Nolan does not pitch for the Flying Turtles because they have about 14 pitchers.
Everybody on that team could pitch, man.
Here's Nolan's a case of, I don't think his numbers show the full picture. So he has a 341 batting average. He's 14th in homers, 27th in average, and 18th in RBIs. I don't think his numbers tell the full picture. Yep. Every time I see him, he's just a tough man. I swear, like, he's fouling balls off. He's making you pitch 2 more pitches than you want. And just the fact that we don't keep defensive stats. Nolan might be the best defender in the league, if not top 3. I think this is just a case of, maybe the numbers don't show he's top 18, but I think his play is a different story. So numbers wise, I don't disagree with the take, but if we take a deeper dive into who Nolan is as a player, I think you can argue. I think arguing top 18 is not crazy whatsoever.
No, I mean, I think in other lists he's also a bit higher. I think Nolan Chazek, I think I saw him at 16 in one list, but I think the biggest thing with the Turtles especially, and producing hitters like that, is just with how good that offense is. It's very hard to not get reps. I mean, he had 122 plate appearances, which is just absolutely insane. But I mean, every single time he's either getting 3 ABs, 4 ABs. He had 6 ABs against the Crooked Rooks at one point. And I mean, it's just very hard not to get reps like that with the Rooks, and I mean with the Turtles. And that's not saying he's not a bad player because of the volume. And I mean, he had 31 hits, the 22 RBIs, and just being around hitters like Gage. And I heard that he is working with Gage on being a better hitter, and I saw that in BLW and MLW. He's always, while I didn't face him expecting a home run or anything, he was always a tougher out. So at the bottom of the lineup, I mean, you're always going to have a guy that's going to make you pitch, I don't know, 9 or so pitches, just trying to be annoying and foul off pitches and stuff. But I think he's just one of those guys that's he's gonna hit for average, and he's gonna definitely get some over the fence as well with that average, because whenever you're hitting the ball, sometimes just some of them just slip over the fence like that.
All right, so going into the top 18, number 18 is Henry Thomason, having a 317 average, 20 hits, 4 homers, and 11 RBIs. For ERA, he is not a qualified pitcher, but I think most of us have seen him at this point. His stuff's pretty solid. Um, so yeah, having him at 18, I don't think that's crazy. I think next year he'll definitely be solidified top 18. I expect him once I said this again, RP will reigns his shoulder, RP to the guy, but I do definitely think Henry's workload will be. I think he will be the number two. If he's not, he's also a good number two, so I don't want to take that away from him. But I do believe we see Henry in a number two role. He will get more at bats, so I think we'll see how good Henry. I do believe Henry's good. I want to preface by saying that. But I think next year we're going to see how good Henry really is going into that number two role. Because it's been the Jack and Rain show, or Jack and Will Rain show. I think the way Will was hitting and pitching last year. Paul's a great player too, but Paul's more of a defensive back kind of guy. He pitches every once again, but I think we see how good Henry Thomason is on the mound next year. People are going to start seeing him more, but I think he'll still be gross. So I'm very interested to see what after winning Rookie of the Year. I'm very interested to see what his sophomore year looks like.
I think this with I don't want to get straight into this, but I kind of do. With this upcoming season, I think we kind of prove, because we talk about you just mentioned the Rookie of the Year race. I think this season proves on whether he deserved that award or not. While I think he was very solid last year, a above 300 average, 20 hits, 4 homers. The pitching is definitely highlighted with a 294 ERA, even though he did not qualify. 4 wins, which was tied for 10th. And, just overall solid stats. But we're going to talk a bit more about this other guy later. But I think there's a lot of other guys that could overshadow Henry Thomason in this top 18. I think he's top 18 for this current list. I might step on some toes here, but I'm saying a full unfiltered. I think Henry Thomason is a honorable mention. I think he's an honorable mention. I think he can be good. He's great. 294 ERA obviously shows it. He can be dirty. But I do think there's other names that could deserve that spot. Will he prove me wrong probably this upcoming season? Probably. But I do think this is a big prove it year. Henry Thomason's getting a big platform, and he's got to rise to that occasion, especially with blue ballers losing a week. I feel like, we've talked about 2 blue ballers at this point, so we're talking about Will Raines a lot, but with Will Raines being out for the season, most likely, Will Raines going to be held on, or not Will Raines, Henry Thomason's going to be held on a pedestal, and he's going to be kind of expected to perform, especially coming off of a rookie of the year win. And I think he can rise to the occasion. I think next year he will definitely be a top 18, but I think right now, I think it's too early to say top 18 for Henry Thomason.
I'm a PR guy, but I guess I'll say it. He's a good pitcher, but he's not qualified. Mm-hmm. And that's been my main thing, because qualifications really that means something to me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It's having a guy hit 800, but he has 45 less at bat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm a big believer in qualification. Like I said, I faced him before. I struggled against him, but I feel like being qualified means a lot. But I also don't know any innings short he is a qualification. But regardless, he's not qualified.
Yeah,
once again, he's a pitcher.
Sorry, I just wanted to put the number out there. He had 19 innings pitched total. Through 11 games, he had 19 innings pitched, which I'm seeing from most of his history, or all of his history, actually, except for, I think, 1 game. is it's a bunch of one inning. It seems relief appearances, and he pitched 4 innings against Wiffle and Easy, 4 innings against Who's Your Daddy, and the rest of all of his 1 innings and 2 innings or so have been vibes. He had 3 innings against Ballbusters, and then it just seems like a very small sample size against. It's just you look at the 2.94 ERA, and yes, I feel like I agree. Qualification is huge. You can go ahead and continue your thought. I just wanted to put that number out there.
Well, the last thing I'll say on that is, it's a prove it year, like what we were saying.
Yeah.
No will. But I'm interested. Again, I believe everyone. I think everyone's good in the league. I think I don't know if there's any bad players in the league. So I think he proves us. I think, like you were saying earlier, I think he proves us wrong. But his sample size will definitely go up, and I'm interested to see what those numbers do when that sample size.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, because I think most of his rookie of the year selection was because they whenever we did vote, they put out all stats and stuff like that. Where you see the big shiny 2.94 ERA, and you see all the other stats, and you see the 4 wins. Tied for 10th in Twibble, even through his small sample size. So his wins came off of Busters, Whiffin' Ain't Easy, Who's Your Daddy, and he had his one win. His other win was against the Vibes. So, I think maybe the Ballbusters just kind of used him in those situations, and he kind of just ran with the situation that he had. Am I saying he's a bad pitcher? No. Am I saying that his sample size was small against good offenses at that time? Yes. I think he kind of, I guess I don't want to say he didn't struggle against bad or good good offenses. Like, I guess most runs I see given up was against the Vibes, which he gave up 5. He gave up 3 against the Rooks in the playoffs. But or is that the playoffs? I don't think that was the playoffs. Maybe it was. But oh yeah. No, July 30th. So yeah, he did pitch in the playoffs, gave up 4 runs against the Rooks, which I think he's going to be just fine next year. I think he's going to improve into that role. But I can't say, because Skylar did say that he was doing it based off of the best prospect at that time. But I don't think, and I'm stepping on toes again, but I don't think he's the best prospect. And it's a bit biased, but obviously we're going to see it out of, we're going to talk about him a bit on Connor's side because he did make that list. But I think Landon Davidson definitely had the numbers for it, but we'll talk a bit more about my opinion on that later. But I do think Henry Thomason should be on this list, but I don't think he's in top 18. I think he could be a solid honorable mention, in my opinion. That's my opinion, though. Putting that out there.
See what the people have to say about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Going into number 17, we see Logan Swink. I want to preface this, or I'm going to say this. I don't have much to say about Logan. He improved drastically when it comes to hitting. Logan's always been a very good fielder. I believe Cooper mentioned that in his podcast. Logan is a 3 to 5 fielder every year. The first memory I've had of Logan, he actually just broke his ribs for wiffle ball, and robbing a homer.
Did he actually?
Guy's a phenomenal defender. Yes, bro. I want it bad, dude, but I don't know if I'd put my ribs on the line for it. So I got to give props to Logan there for sure. But yeah, Logan actually improved a lot at the plate this year, finishing top 12 in hits, home runs, and RBIs. Just hitting 396 this year, good for 18th. He's not really a pitcher. He doesn't pitch over there. That's usually Cooper and Tristan. But he added a very good bat to their lineup this year. He definitely improved in the hitting aspect, and having a good hitter and a good fielder. What else can you really ask for?
I mean, his one pitching appearance was against the Flying Turtles. And he had a very solid .1 inning pitched with one run, one hit, one homer, one walk. So,
Okay.
and so that's about his pitching contribution from last year. His bat is what helps him here in this top 18, especially. He's a great hitter. He top 20 in average. He was tied for 12th in hits, almost 40. Top 10 in home runs with 10. He's a solid bat. I think what hurts him is the fact that he doesn't pitch. I think that's the only reason he's not higher nor lower. And I do think this spot's deserving. I do think this is one of the spots that I can kind of look at Skylar's list and think, yeah, that makes sense. Like that's a good spot to put Logan Swink, just because I think the hitting may be a little bit better than 17. Maybe I would go like 16, 15, but I mean I don't know what I did on my actual list, but I think overall a great bat in that Cosby lineup, especially.
I definitely agree. And transitioning into the final one for Skylar's list today is my teammate, Kate Stewart.
Hold off on the glaze. Hold
And
off
I
on
have-
the glaze.
Listen, man. The hitting, I want to say this right now. The kid was playing on a torn ACL last year. Or torn something last year.
Yeah.
But obviously the hitting stats aren't going to look as good. It was his, I believe it was his right ACL, so it's kind of hard to load without a back ACL.
Mm-hmm.
So those hitting numbers, I believe those are going to improve like crazy next year.
I mean,
On a torn ACL,
yeah.
this kid was top 7 in ERA, 6th in wins, 6th in strikeouts. I want you to look at those teams he played, and you do not see a lot of bad matchups. I want that he has gotten the gauntlet, and he's putting up those numbers.
I mean, I can't help but agree. One thing I kind of want to add on is I feel like it's an injustice to kind of put him at 16. I feel like with those numbers, especially on a, as you said, torn ACL, he could be top 10. He could easily.
I think without a doubt he's top 10.
I
think he's easily top 10.
I think he's easily top 10. But I don't want to go too far and say like top 5, but I think he could reach top 10, or he is top 10. I mean, 7th in ERA, 6th in wins, which wins is, to be honest, I think wins is a very irrelevant stat. 6th in strikeouts, 16th in walks, which, whatever. He's not giving up a lot of runs, so I guess those walks don't really matter. But, I mean, obviously the hitting stats are absolutely gross to look at. But the pitching just doesn't lie. And especially on a torn ACL, as you said, it's just very hard to say that he's anything below top 10. I will say personally I didn't put him at top 10, but just with all the information and all the actual research I've actually done, man, this dude's he could be special next year. He is definitely a guy to watch out for next year.
Yeah. No, definitely I will say this for my list when we go into it. I want this to be noted. I haven't seen defense should have taken into accountability more, and I have not seen anyone practice. So my list changes knowing who has been practicing, who hasn't.
Yeah.
It just not even putting him top 15 with pitching numbers like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what more do you have to do?
I don't understand it.
What more do you have to do?
What?
What more do you have to do?
Like
on a torn ACL?
No, 211 in medium pitch. My thing is on a torn ACL, I think Tate gets those numbers up. I'm not gonna say to what. But I don't see him hitting 211 next year, being able to actually swing. I know him and Brian are practicing up there. Like I'd be surprised if they weren't.
Yeah.
think Tate's going to use this as fuel, and I don't think, if I had to guess, he's not very happy about it. But watch out for Tate Stewart next year. That's my closing statement on this.
I mean, I will say out of just all this, I will say the playoffs were gross. The playoffs were not a great time for Tate Stewart to be Tate Stewart. From what I see, I'm assuming these are. Let's say, yeah, so these are playoffs, but against the Turtles, 12 runs in 1.1 innings, 7 runs in 3 innings. I mean, it's the Turtles, but I mean, you can't really say a lot, especially because he's also just pitched phenomenal in the regular season, and he also did pretty well overall in the playoffs, other than one game against the Blue Ballers going up to the finals. I mean, he didn't give up more than 1 run till that last game against the Blue Ballers where he gave up 4 and they still won. So, and I think the bat does improve. I do agree with that. I think he's at least, at minimum, a 300 hitter, maybe a little bit more. I think the hits are going to improve. I don't see him as a power bat, so I don't think the home runs are going to change that much. Maybe like 5, maybe 6 homers. But I will say, with just the whole crooked Rooks, they might be better than the Turtles this year with the addition of Camden Allison, and especially with Tate Stewart being healthy, hopefully fully healthy, and Jackson Richardson. I mean, Race Radke. I mean, just top to bottom, that lineup is just gonna mash. And I think when we're talking power rankings, especially like once we get to later podcasts, it's very. I mean, obviously Turtles are the number 1 pick, but I feel like throughout the season there is gonna be a point where Rooks are just gonna kind of like go back and forth on the Turtles week to week. I mean, obviously with this, especially with this format, the tournament format, where you guys are probably going to be playing Turtles a lot, especially if y'all make it to the championship each week. I think Tate's going to be a good player. I think he's definitely could be in the race for a Cy Young, especially this year, maybe. Don't. I mean,
He's always Cy Young.
We're gonna get into actual predictions for awards eventually, but I could be a big Cy Young candidate. Put your money on it, perhaps. But yeah, I think now we're gonna go into Connor's list. Unless you have anything else to add for Tate.
Nah, I've said my piece.
Okay, a little bit of glazing for Tate. I think that was the longest part of the podcast, actually.
Deserves it, man. He deserves more, to be honest. If it wasn't 12:45 in the morning, I'd give me 15 more minutes on Tate.
Let's just make the whole podcast about Tate. Why don't we?
Next podcast, be ready, guys.
Okay, so going on to Connor's list, which I think, in my opinion, I really like Connor's list out of all of them. I think he kind of hit the nail on the coffin here, starting with Austin Martin. Actually, I'm going to just go and list all of them, and then we'll kind of talk through each one. Same thing we did with Skylar. So Austin Martin being his first honorable mention, Henry Thomason being his second, so back-to-back Blue Ballers, and then Logan Swink, which is, I think, one that I don't really agree with, but we'll talk about that in a second. We've kind of talked about all 3 of these guys, but I guess now it's more us judging the position. Austin Martin, I agree with. While I do think I think what Connor did is he really undervalued hitting. And I mean, to be fair, Austin Martin doesn't have great pitching numbers either, but he had a 408 average, which was 16th. So I think him being an honorable mention is fair, but I don't know if he did the honorable mentions in order, but him being the last, or the last honorable mention, maybe a little bit of a disservice. I think he's maybe close to 18. Maybe closer to 18 than some other guys, I guess.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Austin's closer to top 18 than. Again, he might have just put people in. He
Hmm.
might have just been like, "Here are my top three honorable mentions,"
Yeah.
which I bet that's what he did.
Hmm.
And if that's the case, I think that's one thing. But I think Austin, yeah, like you were saying, I think Austin's closer to 18 than he is to 21.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked about
Hmm.
I've
Yeah.
shared my thoughts on
We've
Austin. I
gone
think
more in depth
he'll
on
be
some of
good
these
this year.
players already. So, well, I mean, going into his next pick, his next pick, Henry Thomason. I agree with this pick, and I kind of already said my piece on that. I do think he is in this conversation. I think he could be 18. I think he could be 17, 16, so on, whatever. Right now, off of just the eye test, I think he's an honorable mention. So I do like this pick. Your thoughts? Anything?
No, I agree. It depends on how much. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm
Hmm.
a big qualification guy.
Yeah.
I think as of if we're going based on predictions, or put him in top 18. As of right now, I think you put him in an honorable mention
Yeah.
spot.
And then I mean that kind of goes into Logan Swink. I think Logan Swink was a snub of this top 18 list out of Connor. I think Logan Swink should have been top 18 just because of those insane hitting numbers. I mean, I don't understand how you can look at somebody with 10 home runs, top 8 in home runs especially, just that good of a power hitter as well as almost hitting 400. And I don't know how you can't put that guy in the top 18. I mean, yes, pitching is kind of huge, but as I said earlier, I think Connor really undervalued hitting. But those are just too insane of numbers to put him in honorable mention, I feel.
I agree. I think here's my question, and this I think this question needs to be asked more. And this doesn't go to just Logan. Logan is not a pitcher. He never claimed he doesn't. He's not trying to be a pitcher, and I understand that. But would you rather have a guy like Logan go out there and pitch instead of having on defense? Does that make him more? I feel like it makes
Hmm.
him more valuable that he doesn't pitch and he's a top three fielder,
Yeah. I
top
mean,
3 to 5 fielder.
yeah,
So
because you said
in my eyes,
you valued
he's top
fielding a
8.
lot.
I don't know. I don't think that's about. It's like if Gage. I think Gage could pitch if he wanted to, but the guy's a top 2 fielder. So it's like, what's the point of having him pitch if he's not in the field?
I mean, Gold Glove last year. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
it's really just where you're valued at. Like obviously, Logan Swink is not a pitcher. He's, I mean, from what we know, never wanted to be, but I feel like where that pitching kind of is ignored is if you're a good fielder, and obviously Logan Swink is a very solid fielder as well as shows up on the offensive end with those insane numbers. It it's just hard to believe that he's not in a top 18. I mean, as we were saying with Tate Stewart as well, in Skylar's area is that he's not maybe higher than, I guess, maybe 15 or maybe even like a little sneaky 12 or 11.
definitely agree.
Yeah. I mean, going on to the top 18 in general, going so from now on it's basically just all numbers all counting down, so all these are in order, confirmed. This pick is interesting, and I think this was based off of what he said with him being in the lab with Gage West. But Andrew Shin at 18, I I love Andrew. I don't think he's top 18. I think honorable mention, sure, but I mean average is kind of. I mean he's hitting 300. He had 33 hits, being 17th. Um, 2 home runs, which was tied for 31st. 17 RBIs. Just I mean, I love Andrew, but I mean they're just not very impressive numbers. And while yes, he has been working on hitting, I just think there's a lot more people that deserve that 18th spot, in my opinion. I guess. I mean maybe Logan Swink taking that place, something like that.
Yeah, I think Connor had to have been going more off of predictions, and working with Gage West seems to work out for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think if we're taking that, I can put him 18. I think that's fine.
Okay.
If we're going based off of numbers last year, that's a different story. So it's really just, I think, I think everyone's top 18 is very almost confused on, is it top 18 what we think top 18 next year is going to look like, or is it what last year looked like?
Yeah.
And I think that's where everyone kind of has a different perspective on what it is.
And then going into Nolan Chazik, we've said our piece about him. I agree with the spot. I agree with his numbers as of right now. I agree with this spot at 17. I don't think I'd put him higher or lower. As of what I'm just looking at this list right now, I don't think I'd put him higher or lower.
Yeah, I mean, I like Nolan there. 16-17 spot is about.
Yeah.
I like Nolan there.
And then Landon Davidson. This is a new one. This is the first, or well, other than Andrew, first non-repeat and my teammate. So I'm gonna try and not be biased. I like this spot. While it surprised me on the podcast, I did give a little bit of a wow, like because I guess I just didn't expect it. The hitting's atrocious. I won't lie. Like just from stats from last year, hitting was definitely not his strong spot. But pitching, I mean, the ERA is gross. But I'm just looking at that shiny 74 as a rookie. As a rookie, he didn't even get like to play every game, and he had 74 strikeouts, 5th in Twibble. I mean, what else can you ask for? I mean, he also didn't have a great defense behind him. I'm partially to blame for that a little bit with my rookie errors and everything, and I also, with how Twibble works, is whenever you walk a ton of guys and you get put in, you're counted for the runs. Because I loaded the bases against, I don't remember who. I loaded the bases against, I think it was Who's Your Daddy. And then we put in Landon because I was done and he gave him a grand slam. All of a sudden that's on him. So I think I want to say he is also could be a Cy Young candidate. 74 Ks is just, I think, absolutely crazy, especially for a guy who didn't play all season or throughout the whole season.
No, I will say this too. Definitely see that ERA going down. You have as many innings as he does. You're going to get shelled a couple of times. It's just the reality of what medium pitch wiffle ball is. You're throwing 60 to people. You're gonna get hit a little bit. I think with y'all adding a few more guys who can pitch, those innings go down a little bit. Less teams see him, that ERA goes down. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm kind of seeing where Connor went about it. I do believe he also is predicting who's going to be where next year, and I don't hate 16 at all. I think that's a very fair spot. I think, dare I say, that's a floor. I think he improves that hitting a little bit. I know you've been practicing with him. I'm assuming he's improving his hitting. I told
Skylar it was my lab. And it's not Gage's lab anymore. He's in my lab now.
I think we see him surrounded with some different guys with more wiffle experience. Those innings go down. I'm very interested to see where Landon ends up next year, but I think 16 is a solid floor.
I mean, I want to add this. Let me make sure. Yeah, okay. So 6th place was Tate Stewart, correct? Tate Stewart with 71 strikeouts. He had 22 games played, 54 innings pitched. Landon Davidson pitched 14 games, 14 games through 37 innings and had 74 strikeouts, which was fifth. I don't know. That's just insane to me. I'm looking at that. Tate Stewart, great pitcher. But just, I mean, having a lower sample size with 14 games compared to 22 games being below you, I feel like that's a huge confidence booster, especially for Landon.
I definitely do agree with that.
Okay, and then moving on. Okay, so that's it for the top 18 from Skylar and from Connor. Overall, I think they're good lists. I do think there's a lot of flaws. I think there's a lot of people that could go up or down. Overall, I think this list is only going to get better from here, and I'm hoping that. I mean, I'm excited for these lists. I'm excited to see who they think, because I heard last year's was absolutely atrocious list wise, putting Gage at I think 8, and I think Gage is at 11 on the other list or something.
Yeah, it was. I don't. Didn't make the list. That's all I'm gonna say.
But yeah, we're just gonna move on to our list because we are running a bit high on time. But I'm just gonna go ahead and just capitalize on mine a little bit. I had Nolan Chasick at 16. I had Garrett Harrell at 17, and I had Austin Martin at 18. And I want to specifically highlight the man in the middle there, Garrett Harrell. I think he's an underrated hitter. I think while yes, he played on Wiffle Ain't Easy. While yes, he played Who's Your Daddy a lot. 42 hits, top 10 in Twibble. His average was almost a 400, being 22nd. He had 6 home runs, 19 RBIs. Pitching, he was not a pitcher. We're just going to put that out there. But just the hitting stats, even for how wacky his swing is, just works somehow. I don't understand it either. First time I played with him, I saw his swing. I was like, man, this guy's got to be hitting like 100 or something. Like, there's no way. And then he hit a bomb right in my face, and I'm like, okay, I guess it works.
Yeah, no, Garrett definitely improved a ton last year. So I think I like him at 17.
And I will say, I'm gonna say this news now because it's gonna be announced I think tomorrow. But Garrett Harrell is officially a Cookie Monster.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
So with Whiffin Ain't Easy going out, I immediately messaged Garrett and we got in contact, and he, I guess in terms, signed the contract like right on the spot. So we got Garrett Harrell now. So we've got a squad of 7, which is going to be hard to manage, but I think it'll be great. I think adding Garrett to Cookie Monster, especially having a whole other atmosphere, I think is going to help him a lot.
I definitely agree. I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Okay, now I haven't heard your list at all, so this is gonna be all pure reaction out of me. So let's hear your side.
All right, are we going honorable mentions, or are we just going 18,
Yeah,
17, 16?
let's go honorable mentions. I want to hear it all.
Honorable mentions. I'm going to go with Taylor Ragland. Okay. This was before I saw you practice yourself.
Oh.
I've not seen the improvements until last week. I will say there's improvements, so stand on business on this pick.
To be fair, I haven't been on anybody's list yet, so like that's a great thing for me. I'll take
you are for sure. And this might be a homer pick, but my teammate, Mr. 61 himself, Brian Hummel. Just because I gotta show love. That might be a homer pick. Maybe I'm a little biased, but
I mean, a 324, 23 hits, 2 homers, like not super, I guess, bold, but like definitely like a scrappy guy, like a pretty decent average, pretty good hit wise. I mean, not a bad pick. not something to fully argue over.
Yeah.
I want you
Yeah, no.
just like a quick explanation between them your honorable mentions real quick. It doesn't have to be super lengthy, but like starting from like one down, like why you put them there.
Okay, so I put Taylor so my honorable mentions aren't in any order. There's 3 honorable mentions.
I did have a question about Taylor. I mean, I think I didn't have him in my top. I think I had him in an honorable mention too, but I guess why is he an honorable mention and not top 18 for you? What separates him?
It's the pitching. I just think if he didn't pitch, I think he's easily top 15. But I think his pitching, the fact that he has to pitch so much, it's the Logan Swink thing I said earlier.
Yeah.
Obviously, Logan's a little bit better at defense, but it's so hard to justify a guy with a top 15 batting average, but not a great ERA.
Yeah.
Qualified ERA at that. Again, big on qualifications. But that's kind of why I have him as an honorable mention instead of a guy in my top 18. You, again, this was before I saw you practice. In my opinion, from what I saw last year, I thought you had the most potential on y'all's team. Like the first time we practiced, I'm pretty sure you hit like 2 bombs. So I'm like, all right, this guy's gonna be good.
Or are you talking about one of the PR2s?
Yeah, it was like a little scrimmage we had. So
I mash at those for some reason. Like it was a completely different thing because I remember hitting. I think I hit a couple homers off Connor, and then I come into like actual games and it was just completely different. But I love the PR2s. They're so fun.
No, I definitely, dude. I want to get back out there. I know Gage put something in the Slack today about it.
Yeah, he did the 11th at. Okay, I guess this is kind of some thing too. But if you want to practice Twibble or want any chance, not any chance, but if you want to be a part of the TWBL community, there is a practice of a scrimmage. I think it was April 11th at 5 p.m. I would go to the Instagram, and I'm sure there's going to be a post on that. But definitely go to the PR2s because they are super fun if you want to get into Twibble or get into Wiffle Ball at all.
No, I definitely agree. Yes, do that. Diving into number 18, we have heard his name before already, so I'm not going to say too much on it, is Logan Swink.
Fair pick.
And honestly, my 18 and 17 are both for about the same reasons. Logan's a little bit better of a hitter, but my 17th is actually my 18, 17, and 16 are all the same thing. Solid to good bats, and their defense is great. My 18 is Logan Swink, like I said. My 17th will be Nolan Chazik. Like I said, tough out, but he won Gold Glove. He won Gold Glove last year.
It was Gage. Gage won.
It was Gage?
Yeah.
Well, Nolan was top 3 in Gold Glove last year. I do remember that. Cannot argue that. And then, like I said, those were all kind of the same. My 16th will be Paul Marshall. And I say that because, like I was saying, great glove, but he had a slow start last year, and we were hoping to not see that again. He picked it up at the end. I got to give him credit where credit's due. He definitely picked it up. But he is going to get more at-bats this year. Again, without real Reigns there, he's going to get more at-bats. There's going to be more opportunities.
Do you think he's going to pitch at all?
Maybe a couple innings. I don't think he'll be a qualified pitcher by any means. I don't think he's a bad pitcher. I just think they're going to go with Henry and Austin.
He had 3 outings last year. They were all kind of... I mean, he put up some good fights against Cosby and Vibes, but the Rooks one was kind of gross a little bit.
I think he's more of a fast pitch pitcher or maybe that's his brother. I don't really know. But yeah, my 18 through 16 are kind of the same thing with above average bats and great defense. But yeah, that's kind of where I went with that. I think let me go look at Paul's stat real quick, but he definitely turned it around from the start of his year.
That 416 average is kind of flashy. I won't lie.
Yeah. Yeah, like I definitely think he improved throughout the year. But I like him at that 16 spot. I think he does improve next year, like I said earlier. But I think I'm gonna keep him. Go ahead and keep him there.
Yeah, I mean, I
But yeah, those are.
yeah, I mean, going
Go
just
ahead.
reactions to your list, I guess. I I definitely I like all your picks. I I definitely think. I mean, obviously, there's some stretches with your honorable mention, um, being a teammate. But I mean that's gonna come. That's, some bias got to come in there. But I mean, I think I like your list so far. I'm really excited because I just want to put this out there. I don't think you've seen my list either. Neither of us have seen each other's list, so all these are gonna be hopefully completely um, completely raw reactions to each other's list. But I'm excited to do the rest of these reveals, especially from after. I feel like once you get to 15, it starts to get a bit more exciting because then you're a top 15 player, then you're top 10 player, then you're top 5 player, then you're the best. So I think this is really exciting. I really like what they're doing over there at Sippin Coffee with Burt. I really like the top 18. I'm excited to see where everybody lands.
Me too. I do enjoy. That is the most engagement Twibble gets in the off season. I will say that. So I applaud
Applaud,
Sippin
applaud.
Coffee with that.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean that's gonna wrap it up after a lot of talking and I mean just reflecting off of we obviously the interview of Joshua Bischop's, which we thank him for his time, and then going through the top 18. I think next podcast we will be going through the next few picks as well, or the top picks as well as some extra stuff going through actual seasonal stuff like power rankings or analyzing some teams, stuff like that. Hoping to get into more predictions than what we are right now. But yeah, thank you Cam for joining me. This is always a joy. Um, Looking forward to future podcasts. I mean, do you have anything to add?
No, just need the season to start, man.
Same. Okay, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.